So please follow along as you read in your book and take notes in your notebook.
Child abuse. For many of us, it's unbelievable that an adult would ever seriously hurt a child. Unfortunately, every year, many adults are guilty of physical abuse, emotional abuse, or neglect of one or more children. Child abuse is a shame, but it's more than that. It's against the law. Federal law basically says that an act or failure to act is child abuse if it results in death, serious physical or emotional harm, or neglect. States determine their own definitions of physical or emotional harm and neglect, but the following are some possible examples. Physical abuse. When a parent or guardian injures a child, causing any harm from minor bruises to death, this is physical abuse. Beating, kicking, shaking, throwing, choking, and hitting a child are all types of physical abuse. Even if the abuser did not intend or mean to harm the child, what matters is whether the child has been injured. Emotional abuse. When a parent or guardian constantly criticizes a child, this is emotional abuse. Other types of emotional abuse include threats, rejection, and failure to give love, support, or guidance. Emotional abuse is often hard to prove, and officials may not be able to take any action unless there is real evidence of harm. However, emotional abuse often occurs alongside physical abuse. Neglect. When a parent or guardian fails to give a child necessary food or shelter, this is neglect. Other kinds of neglect include denying a child medical or mental health treatment, failing to educate a child, and ignoring a child's emotional needs, including permitting a child to use alcohol or drugs. Emotional neglect is hard to prove. In some states, anyone who suspects child abuse is required to report it. In other states, only people in certain positions are required to report child abuse. These people include doctors and other medical personnel, teachers and other school employees, social workers, daycare workers, and others who are in frequent contact with children. When these people have a reason to suspect abuse, they are required by law to report it. Usually, reports are made to CPS, Child Protective Services. CPS decides whether there is reason to investigate. Investigations may result in criminal charges, but sometimes, even if abuse is confirmed, the abuser will not go to jail, but instead must attend a special program to learn to stop the abuse. If the CPS workers decide that it's necessary for the safety of a child, the child may be temporarily removed from the home. In such cases, children are often placed in foster care while one or both parents get help. For more information, contact your state's child welfare program.
Okay, let's talk new words or phrases real quick. Again, I can't see everyone, so if you have a question about a word or phrase you'd like to talk about, please tell me which column 1, column 2, or column 3, or which section. Any new words or phrases?
So column 1?
Yes?
Bruises.
Bruises, okay. And where in column 1 is that? Is that physical abuse?
Yes.
Okay. So a bruise happens when on our skin the blood vessels get broken. And so if I am hit, if someone hits me in the eye or hits me on my shoulder, my skin might turn a little bit dark and black and purple. So if someone hits me in the eye and I have a black or purple around my eye, that is a bruise. Anyone else?
And the second paragraph, emotional abuse, when the parents or guardians constantly criticize. I don't know what is the meaning.
In this section, Myra?
Yes, constantly criticize.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this says when a parent or guardian constantly criticizes. So the verb is to criticize. And let me put up another word form here. So we have to criticize or to be critical. And that's when we say to someone like, "Oh, you're so lazy, you never do anything, you're so dumb, why can't you learn this?" And we talk very, very negatively and say that they aren't good at something. So, and constantly means repeatedly over and over. So when a parent or a guardian is constantly telling a child, "You're no good," that is criticizing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Someone else?
Yeah, in the same paragraph, the hurts and the other types, the emotional abuse, including threats.
Yep. And the pronunciation of this word is with the th, threats. Threats. So again, if you have a piece of paper and you're making the th sound correctly, the air from your tongue should blow the paper. So threats. And a threat, in this case, it's a noun. And a threat is when you tell someone you are going to do something dangerous to them. If you don't do this, I'm going to hit you. If you don't do this, you don't get to eat tonight. Those are threats. So bad consequences for behavior.
The other word.
Yeah. Yep. And again, that's a strong J, Rosa. Rejection. Yeah. So rejection comes from the verb to reject, and that is no. I don't want you. No, I don't love you. No, you're no good. So I reject. We can see this when we talk about applying for a job. So I applied for a job. I was not chosen. They rejected me. But when a parent or a guardian rejects a child, it's like, get away from me. I don't like you. I don't want you near me. I don't love you. Why are you here? So in a very mean way. Anyone else? New words or phrases?
Yeah, foster care. The last.
The first column? Last column?
Yeah. Foster care. Foster care.
Oh, foster care. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm looking for it.
Very last, the fourth sentence from the bottom in bold.
Oh.
Foster care.
Okay, thank you. So they're talking about CPS, and remember, when a writer uses the abbreviation, they have to tell us what that means. So CPS is Child Protective Services. They are an agency that will make sure that children are in safe environments. If someone suspects that neglect or abuse is happening, they have to report that. In some states, like the article said, teachers or some people are required to report that to this agency. In the case where children are not living in a safe home environment and the state says, no, I'm sorry, mom and dad, you cannot have your children in your home anymore, the state will take those children and place them with families who have been trained to take in children. And those families are called foster parents. And the idea of children living with families who are not their blood relatives is foster care. Anyone else? Words or phrases?